Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys, I'm going to be profiling you my Toon deck. Now, Toons are a very fun deck that's come out recently, ever since Dragons of Legend 2 came out recently. And now that we have Toon Cyber Dragon out, the deck's a lot more fun to play around with. Personally, I feel like there's two good ways you can build a Toon deck. You can either build a Toon deck just for fun, which is kind of like what I did here, while keeping it semi-competitive, or you can play an anti-meta version of Toons using things like macro, defissure, lose one turn, and things of that nature. You can play the deck that way, but I find it's not as fun, and it's Toons for Pete's sake. It's supposed to be a fun deck, so that's why I chose to build the fun version instead of the more anti-meta-esque version. Just me, but if you guys want to see the other version, I'll be more than willing to, profile that deck for you guys if this video gets like 30 likes or more. So if this video gets 30 likes or more, I'll profile an anti-meta version of this deck, which is a lot. You play a lot of different cards and stuff than what you play in the fun version. So yes, without further ado, guys, let us get started. So first off, I run the 3 Toon Masked Sorcerer, and I run the 3 Toon Gemini Elf. This is staple in any Toon build, really, to run the 3 Toon Masked Sorcerer, which helps precipitate draw power in the deck, and the Toon Gemini Elf, which is kind of your beat stick and can rip cards out of your opponent's hands. So definitely the 3 Toon Masked Sorcerer and your 3 Toon Gemini Elf. Next up, I run 2 Toon Cyber Dragon, who looks so freaking cute. He's one of my favorite Toons, I guess you could say, nowadays. The Toon Cyber Dragon is really useful because you can special summon him. He can't be destroyed. I think he's one of the ones that says he can't be destroyed when Toon World's destroyed, excuse me. But pretty much sometimes you can wait a turn, have a 21 beat stick on the field, and attack with him next turn. Or sometimes I like special summoning him, tributing him for Toon Dark Magician Girl, and maybe ending the game right then and there. Or just attacking with a Toon Dark Magician Girl right then and there as well. So I do like it as a 2-of. It's a really nice card. If you're going to run the lose one turns, you may want to consider dropping him or keeping him in the deck. Personally, I'm still playing around with the anti-meta version, but definitely I like the Toon Cyber Dragon in this fun version because you can easily go... I always like going second with this deck, I should say. So I always like going Toon Cyber Dragon, special summon because my opponent will have something on the field. Then I'll normal summon like a Toon Gemini Elf or a Toon Masked Sorcerer. So, and have Toon Kingdom set up and, have Toon Kingdom maybe protected. Or sometimes I like going Toon Cyber Dragon, special summon, normal summon the Summoner Monk, and maybe make the Master Key Beetle walk there. So you got things going. So yes, definitely like the Toon Cyber Dragon because it can help set up more field presence. Yeah, granted, once it becomes more cloggy on the field, you got your Toons already out. You don't want to have the Toon Cyber Dragon, but it's easily searchable. Next, I running the 1 Toon Dark Magician Girl. She is by far my favorite Toon. I love her. I've always loved Dark Magician Girl. I love her in Toon form. She just looks just as cute as she would. So I do like running this, but it also has a main purpose as well because the fact of the matter is you can tribute it with Cyber Dragon. Or sometimes what I've done, if somebody's got a big monster out and 2 Masked Sorcerers, or I put work in that turn, I'll just tribute it that turn if I don't have another play, just to get the Toon Dark Magician Girl out so I can end the game there, or just poke in for 2,000 more damage. It's very versatile, it's searchable, there's multiple ways it comes into play and comes out to be used, I guess you could say. It can be used in a lot of different ways, I find. That's what I'm trying to say here. There's a lot of different situations that Toon Dark Magician Girl is good, because she can attack the turn she is summoned. So I do like her as a 1-of in the deck. Next up, I run the 2 Summoner Monk. I do run the Summoner Monk engine in this build, and I do run 1 Card Guard, which I'll explain very quickly. So I do like the Summoner Monk engine. You need to make Master Key Beetle. This deck really becomes literally pretty much protect the castle. Yes, it's called Toon Kingdom, but it's a castle. So literally, it's protect the castle deck Toons. Literally. So pretty much, you do have to protect Toon Kingdom. Otherwise, things are not going to go the way you hope. So the best way I found out is this little fun little play you can do. Summon a monk go into Card Guard, activate Card Guard's effect. Using a Card Guard token, you can target Toon Kingdom. Toon Kingdom's got protection. Exceed summon into number 66 Master Key Beetle. Give it more protection. So literally, you're double protecting your Toon Kingdom. It's pretty much double protection. Protect that kingdom, protect the castle at all cost. Usually, if I go Summon a Monk, Card Guard, and then protect the Toon Kingdom, I mean, sometimes I don't even normal summon the Toons on the first turn. I know that's a little bit more slow balling than people like, but I do like the Cyber Dragon because I can special summon that. Then normal summon the Summon a Monk, go off, protect the Toon Kingdom, etc. So I do like the Summon a Monk play. Now, people may say, well, what happens if you banish the Card Guard? That's fine, because you still have the Toon Mask Sorcerer that go into the Master Key Beetle, most likely. So you're usually pretty good off to go into Master Key Beetle. As long as you get into Master Key Beetle to protect the Toon Kingdom, you're good. The Card Guard's there just as extra insurance. Plus, it's normal summonable, so you can also, that's another way of protecting Toon Kingdom. Sometimes you can just use it to exceed into like a rank 4 exceed play. But I do like the one Card Guard. It's a little bit Tekken with the Summon a Monk play, so you can go for exceeds, protecting your Toon Kingdom. So I do like that. Plus, it just gives a rank 4 engine to the deck, which is really nice. Next, I run the 3 Toon Table of Contents. Definitely a staple as a 3 of in this deck. The 2 gold rares are from back in the day. But definitely, yes, the 3 Toon Table of Contents. One of the best cards. I mean, it used to be used in Exodia, but now you can really use it in Toons like it was supposed to be meant for. So you can search out your Toon Kingdom, any Toons you need. Pretty much search out anything that's Toon, which is really nice. Next, I run the 3 Toon Kingdoms. Definitely a staple. Probably one of the most expensive cards in this deck nowadays. It was a very cheap card when it first came out, and now it's gone up to like $20, $30, about $20-something now. But very, very, very efficient card. Very good card. I only wish it had built-in protection, like the Seal of Orichalcos, but so be it. It's a very good card overall, though. I will admit that. Toon Kingdom is. So literally, you get this card out, you protect it, you protect your Toons, and then you slow ball your way to victory somewhat. Toons can be explosive, I will admit that. If you get the right setup, you can end your opponent maybe in 3 turns. So yeah, they're pretty. Sometimes they can go off really good. It just depends upon what hand you get and what's going on and what your opponent's playing. That is. Next, I run the 3 Comic Hand. Definitely a staple of 3 of. I've seen some people run 2 of because they feel it's a little bit too situational, but it's such a good card. And the fact that it makes your opponent's monster a Toon really means that you can steal that powerful monster away. It's better than Snatch and Steal to some degree, I feel like. You literally can steal your opponent's monster, make it a Toon, abuse it with Toon Kingdom and the other Toon monsters, effects like your Toon Briefcase and whatnot, your Toon Mask. It's too good, and it can help you win games so much more easily. So I do like the 3 Comic Hand. Definitely a staple of. If it gets a little bit cloggy, you have Summon a Monk. So, just saying. Because you run a lot of spells, Summon a Monk works very well. Pitch those big spells. Same thing goes with Mimic Cat. Mimic Cat on paper and in what it is, what the card is in general, is a very, very OP broken card. Problem is, it's situational, and in today's game, you know, there's not a lot of generic things floating around. But Mimic Cat, for me personally, does come into good situations. Sometimes I've copied, you know, spells and good generic traps like Regeki, Fiendishes, Book of Moons, Soul Charges even once in a while. Depending upon what, you know, the situation, Mimic Cat can come in handy. But if it gets too cloggy, hey, you got Summon a Monk to banish it. What can I say? So, in theory, I would run 1 of, but because I'm running Summon a Monk, I run it as a 2 of. Yes, it's situational, but I have found a lot of times in real life it's very useful. And as 1 of, I don't see it as much as I would like to, because the fact of the matter is you are banishing, and sometimes I've actually banished the one Mimic Cat, you know, with Toon Kingdom, or like off a Toon effect if they're attacking, and I'm like, well, there goes my Mimic Cat. No reason there's a reason why it's no good. I'm banishing them all the time. So I like it as a 2 of, because if it gets too cloggy, you have a Summon a Monk. You can pitch this for Summon a Monk's effect. You see it more often. You can use it with, you know, more often for just generic stuff, which is kind of nice. So I do like the 2 Mimic Cat. You don't have to run 2. You can just run 1, but because I'm running Summon a Monk, I feel more comfortable with running 2 than I would have running 1. Next, I run 2 Power Duality. I have thought of adding Power Duality up to 3 of instead of 2 of, but still play testing with that because the deck does special summon fairly frequently with Cyber Dragons and with Summon a Monk. Mostly because of Summon a Monk, I'm more concerned with running more than 1 Power Duality because I have found inconsistency problems and running into problems in general. Saying that, if I played the anti-meta version of this deck, I would definitely take and add a 3rd Power Duality into the deck. Even still now, even though all the special summoning my deck does to some degree, I have thought about making it a 3 of, but still need a playtest. Because this deck is still being playtested out for card ratios and things, as you can tell. Next, I run 2 Terraforming. A lot of people running Terraforming as a 3 of, but literally there's so many ways to search out Toon Kingdom. I haven't had that much problems with it. Once in a while, yeah, you have problems with it. But you have 2 Terraforming, you have your Toon Table of Contents, you have... I mean, granted, usually I want to use my Toon Table of Contents to search out like a trap or a monster, never the Toon Kingdom, but... I mean, you got 3 Toon Kingdoms to boot to begin with, so, I mean, there's a lot of ways to search out Toon Kingdom, so I wouldn't run more than the 2 Terraforming. You can pitch it with Summon a Monk if you want to. Sometimes what I've done is I've just searched out the Toon Kingdom. If I already have another one in hand, and just pitch it with Summon a Monk. That way I'm thinning out my deck a little bit more, but definitely the 2 Terraforming. 3 I've found is a little bit too much to my personal taste. Next, I run 2 MST. We may drop the MST in the future for an extra Power Duality or something of that nature, but I do like the 2 MST because sometimes I do find myself against opponents that want to Fiendish Chain my tunes, and that just does not make me happy. So I do like the 2 MST for that reason. Problem is sometimes, you know, it gets banished off Toon Kingdom and it's like, whatever. I do like running 1 Magic Reflector. This is a card that I see a lot of people running as a 2 of, a 3 of, or 1, you know, usually a lot. They really like this card, and it's a lot better than Field Barrier, because Field Barrier only protects Toon Kingdom. Magic Reflector can protect Comic Hand as well, which is something people forget. You can either protect Toon Kingdom or Comic Hand, depending upon your setup. So if you already have your setup with Toon Kingdom all protected by Master Key Beetle and Card Guard, you can use this for protecting Comic Hand as well, while Field Barrier can't do that. So I do like the 1 Magic Reflector. You could bump it up to a 2 of. I will admit I have considered maybe dropping the MST for the Power Duality and a 2nd Magic Reflector, but that's up to you as a player to decide if you want to really do that. There's pros and cons to each way of looking at it, but I do like it as a 1 of because it can come in handy. It gives it's another additional thing to protect your Toon Kingdom and whatnot. For the other 1 ofs, we run 1 Book of Moon and 1 Regeki. Book of Moon is a good offensive and defensive card for this deck. Protecting things, making sure they don't Castell you. I like a lot of defense in the deck to some respect, you know, because my 2 major concerns for the deck are these: Castell and MST. MST, we have things to protect by Magic Reflector, Card Guard, Master Key Beetle. That's what we have for that. Castell, we have Book of Moon, your Fiendish Chains, and other ways of protecting it that way as well. So I wanted to have a good, versatile thing in the deck where I can protect it against Castell and MST, which are my 2 major concerns. Yes, there's other cards that can pop things on field. Granted, that is a thing, but those are my 2 major things that most decks out there nowadays easily main or easily can make. Just saying. So the Regeki takes care of things that are just good, and Book of Moon, like I said, is offensive, is a very good defensive card in this deck, and offensively. Then we run 2 Toon Mask. Really underrated card. Very, very good card. Depending upon your matchup, you can bring out like Toon Dark Magician Girl or Toon Cyber Dragon for the deck. It just depends upon if you're going against, you know, like a maybe a Pendulum dot deck, like Gleeforts or Ignoble Ignites. You sometimes can bring out Toon Dark Magician Girl or Toon Cyber Dragon. It just depends upon the deck you're facing in general. I mean, maybe you're facing Cyber Dragons and they have a Cyber Dragon of their own out in the field. Then you activate Toon Mask. Oh, bring that out. Or whatever. So it just depends upon your matchup. But it's a very good card in general because most decks have rank 4s or just make rank 4 exceeds. So you can easily go into your extra deck and make what now? Bring out like Toon Gemini Elves, Toon Mask Sorcerer, so you can get draw power going. Really good card, Toon Mask. Definitely a staple as a 2 of nowadays. Then I run 2 Toon Briefcase. Really, 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 really underrated card, especially against pendulums. Uh, really good card. It's searchable to boot. So it just doesn't say monster, it says monsters. So if they have a whole bunch of pendulums they summon, Toon Briefcase. Really good card. I think as time goes on, this card's going to become a little bit better and definitely be a staple as a 2 of. It's searchable, it's a very good card. I really like Toon Briefcase, and he looks kind of evil and kind of cool at the same time, I will admit that. But yes, Toon Briefcase. And then lastly, for your other monsters, we run 2 Fiendish Chains. Like I said, to protect your things from Castell and whatnot. Those are your main concerns. 2 Fiendish Chains. Oop, my bad. Then for your other 1-ofs, I run 1 Bottomless and 1 Solemn Warning. Was thinking about running Vanity's Emptiness, but I was finding contradictory things with that, considering how slow ball the deck does run. So I decided to opt in for the Solemn Warning instead of the Vanity's Emptiness. Still playing around with that, mind you. Bottomless worked very well in the deck. Helped against Pendulum Summoning, things of that nature. But definitely a Solemn Warning and Bottomless trap will really come in handy for more extra protection for the deck. More back row hate. On to the extra deck for you guys. We run pretty much the only 2 main cards you will probably ever go into in this extra deck. Krogamic Illuminescent Knight and number 66 Master Key Beetle. Krogamic Illuminescent Knight is another way of protecting your stuff. Master Key Beetle is the main one you will go into. You could even add another Master Key Beetle if you wanted to, but I only seem to use 1 at every duel. But these are the 2 main cards you will go into the most, personally. The other stuff in the extra deck is just there if the situation arises, and half of the extra deck after those 2 cards I never go into. So 1 Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon, 1 Evil Swarm Exciton Knight, I have made that. Number 103 Ragnar Zero, I have made that against certain decks. Cowboy has won me games with this deck, I will admit that. And Castell the Sky Musketeer has won me games sometimes. So yeah, those cards are the main ones I would go into, as well as number 101, excuse me. So number 101 is another card I've gone into for a game, and as well as number 82 Heartland Drago. I have made Heartland Drago before, especially if, you know, they Fiendish Chain something or whatever, or negate it for that turn. I've just exceeded and made Heartland Drago and then smacked them in the face for 2,000 directly because I have a field spell. So yeah, I have made Heartland Drago before. And so this is pretty much, I would say, the last cards that I've ever gone into or had situations where I could make them is number 101 and number 82. Then I just have for situations that I haven't run into yet, but you can use them. Abyss Dweller, Diamond Dire Wolf, Gaga Samurai, number 50 Black Ship of Corn. And then lastly we have Tellarknight Ptolemaeus and the Stellar Knight Constellar Diamond. Even though you rarely make these cards, they're just there in case it happens, I guess you could say. But yes, that is the Toon deck for you guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed playing the deck. Like I said, there's different ways to playing Toon decks. Each person has their own way they like playing with it, I find. Some people like playing it as anti-meta, mainly. Other people like playing it just for fun because it is Toons. It's up to you how you want to play it, and please respect my way I want to play it. But like I said, if you guys give me 30 likes, I would definitely easily make the anti-meta version eventually. Because it's very fun, and it's pretty good against pendulums, I will admit that. So yes. Till next time, guys, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling. And if anybody, because I know somebody down there is going to say, oh, that was a good deck profile, Kaiba boy, I'm just going to laugh my ass off because I know somebody's going to do it because my username is Seto Kaiba. But till next time, guys, take care, everybody, and good luck dueling to all of you. And go Toons. They're a very fun deck to play. Take care, everybody.